Oh, fuck dry January.
Terrible idea. Oh, I'm so cool. I'm doing dry January. Idiot.
Welcome in, everybody. It's the Craft Beer Republic. Thanks for drinking. Thanks for joining. No dry January bullshit over here. I am Greg, and I'm getting real romantic tonight because it's just Flexi and I.
We getting soaking wet up in this bitch.
Yeah.
We respect, I guess, the people choosing to do dry January.
Yeah.
Not that it does anything to your health. Maybe it's like a mental willpower strengthening thing, but not for us.
If anything, it makes me think you're more of an alcoholic because you can't moderate.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way to think about it.
Well, may this be the wettest January on record.
Slobbering wet.
Drip, drip. Oh, if you're still there, make sure you follow us on the socials at Craft Beer Republic, and of course, Flex Me a Beer _ in between. CraftBeerRepublic.com, 805-53-BEER is the number to call. All that good stuff. We have a lot to get to. This is our first, spoiler alert, first recording of the new year.
Yeah, we did some pre-records. Holidays are going to be busy. We knew that.
Right.
They fell on Mondays. So
so we were responsible and we pre-recorded.
Yeah. So just in case any of this news is a little old, maybe you're hearing it for the first time. Who knows?
No old news today. Maybe last week's was. But it's all fresh today, finally. Fresh like the IPA I'm about to tell you about. So much to talk about. Before we talk about any of it, I'm going to talking about.
You stop saying talk?
Well, I'll take a drink every time I do. And
Discuss.
Be a good show.
Converse.
All right. Let me converse about this delectable IPA I'm drinking. Oh, well, thanks to the horrible trips I've been having to take for work.
That's
the
terrible.
one nice thing is the beer I've been picking up. And I am drinking Green Cheek Beer Company's
Hey.
Meet You Where You Are.
We love some Green Cheek.
Oh, so good. And I tell you, I keep having to go down to the area where Green Cheek, one of their locations are, and I'm like, I gotta go down here again. But I'm always like, well, at least I can go have dinner at Green Cheek and pick up some cans to go.
Oh, food too.
Oh, yeah, they got some food. They got, of course, the beers and the beers to go. And it was funny, one guy walked in when I was eating and attempted to clean them out of, like, all of one of the beer. I don't know which one. And the guy's like, hey, man, like, whatever it was, 10 case max or something. The guy's like, come on, man, my boss really wanted, like, all the beers. And he's like, we got to save some for the other people. It's like, my boss is willing to pay extra. It's like,
Stop it right now.
Yeah, the guy's like, hey, we're just trying to sell some beer. Like, I'm not trying to give you a hard time. I was like, my boss said come get all the beer. Not all the beer, but all of, like, one specific beer.
Right.
Yeah, and the guy basically was like, you can have 10. And kicked him out after that.
You think that's got to be enough, right? 10 cases of one beer.
Yeah, well, what are we doing here? I mean, pick some different flavors. Come on.
Or reach out to them personally if you're looking to spend that much money or buy that much.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd set something up for you. But anyways, the beer I'm drinking, 8.9%, starting the wet January off right. 4.32 on Untapped with over 1,100 ratings. And they say layered with old-fashioned oats and raw white wheat. We hit the dry hop with a super dope blend of New Zealand and Pacific Northwest hops. The beer has an awesome fruit character that comes across super juicy, and lots of honeydew and a bit of orange creamsicle, and even a squeeze of Sauv Blanc.
Oh, fancy.
I'm classy as I drink this shit.
Pinkies up, bitch.
On the schnoz, I'm getting tropical notes. I'm getting like, I almost want to say like a papaya mango-y vibe going on, which is not in their description at all. So maybe my nose is broken. Yeah, on the tongue jobber, I really get that orange creamsicle in a good way, not in like a, sweet popsicle kind of way.
Lactose-y, super sweet way.
Yeah, there's no lactose in here, but yeah, the orange creamsicle really comes through. I don't so much pick up the Sauv Blanc, maybe on the back end because it's got some of that dryness that a Sauv Blanc might have, but not so much on the flavor. But God damn, this is good. Their hazies are really up there with like the pure murkies and stuff like that. So
right.
I dig it. I'm enjoying this quite a bit. So cheers to Green Cheek, and cheers for making my shitty trips down there slightly less shitty.
Yeah, and I'm sure that 8.9% is going to treat you well.
It's not going to do me wrong. I tell you that. Helping to keep January wet. What'd you say? Slobbering?
Slobbering.
The grossest thing I've ever heard.
Dude, it's so gross.
Only thing worse than that is moist.
I was just going to say that, like moist January.
Does moist bother you as a word?
There's not a lot of words that bother me.
Me neither. So many people it bothers. It doesn't, whatever. It's moist.
Yeah, like whatever. Sometimes you get moist. Like
yeah, it happens.
It's like what, clammy. I don't. What do you want me to say? If anything, I feel like clammy sounds even worse. But
it does. That implies a smell. When you say
you think
clammy.
so?
Yeah, when you say like, oh, I'm a little clammy down there, I'm thinking like, oh man, you sweat a little.
Oh, you're thinking
hard
clammy down there. I'm thinking like you clammy palms. You know.
Yeah.
Like get
even
nervous,
that has like a
M&M,
connotation to it.
and then
that's
you
not
throw up your mom's spaghetti and you know.
Bad night in the bathroom. Yeah. So, anyways, beer. Hey, speaking of coming back after the holidays, how was your holidays?
So work was nuts.
Work.
Let your body do the
Lots
work.
of people need your meat.
Yes. I served so much meat to so many people. We had like one day off in 15 days.
Jesus.
Like everybody in the shop, you know. So
what's the big meat? Like ham, or what is everybody coming for?
Prime rib roasts.
Oh, makes sense.
Yeah. So that's like the number one Christmas meal. New Year's is just, you know, any kind of steak cut, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely insane amount of work. I loved it every second of it, though. Like, it's just a fucking blast, just running around, helping people out, filling stuff, cutting stuff. You know, it's like you don't even think about the day being work, you know, especially with bunch of guys who are essentially just all your buddies, and everybody working well together. So work was stressful, but fun. The holidays themselves were extremely relaxing between Christmas and New Year's.
Nice.
I did get a little bit rowdy on Christmas Eve.
Oh.
Because we closed the shop an hour early on Christmas Eve. So we shut down at 3:00, and me and some of the guys, we have this after work ritual of playing blackjack. And having a beer.
All right. I like it.
Because it was Christmas, you have the long work week, everybody puts in all the hours, we're all tired. They, you know, bust out a bottle of Elijah Craig.
Oh.
We took a couple there's this IPA locally by Raised Grain Brewing. It's called Naked Threesome.
I like it.
7.5% ABV. Took a couple 4-packs of those off the shelf, so we're just rearing to go, gambling our hearts out. And I realized my family's coming over in 20 minutes. So I had 2 pours of bourbon. I had 2 7.5%ers, all in the span of about 40 minutes.
Wow.
So daddy's feeling good.
Yeah. Drunk
Get
daddy.
home, quick shower. My folks and my brothers come over, and I end up having like 3 or 4 more beers while they're there, right? So total count now, 6 beers, 2 pours of bourbon, ship them out the house. Get family Christmas pictures done, you know, with the pajamas, because my wife loves, you know, trendy shit, love her to death. Put the kids to bed, and then I play Santa Claus. You know,
sure.
I have to build the kids' shit that they get, so it's all ready for the next morning under the tree. So naturally, while I'm doing this, I have another beer. So we're up to 7 beers, 2 pours of bourbon.
And a partridge.
Yeah, I like that. So then the wife and I flip-flop, right? I get these toys put together.
She starts drinking.
I head back upstairs in case the kids wake up. She comes downstairs, you know, throws the cookies out, pours the milk out, gets, you know, our Santa stuff, you know, because every year everybody gets one present from Santa, you know.
Right.
Then she went back upstairs, and I went back downstairs because there was some football game going on.
No.
Right? So it's just all this flip-flop rotation.
Yeah.
Well, naturally, I'm like, hey, well, I'm watching the end of the game. I might as well have another beer.
Oh, fully natural.
Now we're at 8 beers, 2 pours of bourbon. I wake up the next morning. I don't remember going back downstairs into the basement after building like the kids' toys.
Uh-huh.
I am like sweaty. My head is pounding. I'm trying to figure out what the hell happened. My wife makes cinnamon rolls for breakfast for all of us, and I'm just taking the smallest nibbles of these cinnamon rolls because my stomach is just turning.
Like, come on, Flex, hold it together. Hold it together.
All I'm thinking to myself is, you can't puke on Christmas. You just can't puke on Christmas. Everybody's going to know how drunk you actually were yesterday. You cannot puke on Christmas. So, long story short, I held it in.
Oh, I was waiting for I puked on Christmas.
No, I recovered, threw down all the cinnamon rolls. We opened gifts. I even got a workout in.
God damn.
Lovely Christmas.
That's awesome.
Couldn't have been better. It really couldn't.
And how early were you in bed for New Year's Eve?
So, yeah, I had hopes. Listen to this. So, I'm an old man. Most people out here know, I go to bed about 8:30 p.m. on a regular night. And the Packers played the late game on New Year's Eve. Oh. Right? So I was like, hey, 7:20 Packer game. The game should go to at least 10:30. I'll be golden.
You'll be halfway there.
It's about 9:30, and I don't remember 9:30. And then my wife yells at me at 10:30 and says, just go upstairs. So technically I made it till 10:30.
Nice.
But didn't.
For those of you playing Flex Bingo.
Yeah, I didn't catch the Packer game, the end of it. And they won, I think. Yeah, but it was nice. A lot of work put in that week though, so I was pretty tired.
You deserved it, big boy.
I did. But yeah, nice. Holidays were great. What about yours? How were they?
Christmas was fantastic. It was one of the easiest Christmases I've had in a long time because some family wasn't around, some family had COVID, and I think I've said this before. My wife and I both come from divorced families, and Christmas and right around Christmas we end up at like 9 million houses or events or whatever.
Right.
My biggest year I counted, no joke, within 4 days I was at 9 different places.
That's disgusting. Nobody deserves that.
No, and I swore that off. I said, fuck everybody. I'm not doing that many ever again. Well, between COVID and trips and all this other shit, I ended up at one place Christmas Day. And I don't like doing the traditional, like, hey, ham and turkey or whatever. I usually do most of the cooking when I'm doing Christmas and Thanksgiving dinners over at my mom's house. And
did you do the tri-tip?
So I did that for Thanksgiving. So I talked to them. I was like, "What, you want to do something different, or are you guys jonesing for some tri-tip?"
Jonesing, nice.
Jonesing for the Jones tip. Heyo. And they were like, "Hey, yeah, whatever you want to do." I was like, super helpful. So I thought about it. I was like, "What can I do?" I think it ended up being like 14 people or something. I was like, "What can I do easy for 14 people? It sounds good. Haven't done it before." I did lasagna.
Interesting.
Making Mel proud. Had a pasta course.
What an interesting choice.
Yeah. So did lasagna.
Did you do anything fancy with the lasagna?
I mean, I made the sauce myself. No store-bought sauce. Homemade sauce. Did some sausage in there. All the essentials, ricotta, all that good shit.
Okay.
Made it a tinge spicy with the sausage. Did like a spicier sausage. Add a little, paprika and cayenne to up the heat. Just, not to like blow anybody out, but just to make it interesting.
Right.
Did some green beans with like pomegranates on them and shit like that to look festive. But I gotta say the lasagna came out pretty good.
I like that. That's so different.
Yeah, I just I'm sure Mel's like,
maybe because I'm not Italian, but
right. Me neither. Mel's like, that's every fucking holiday, you loser.
Right. You have to have that's probably an appetizer for that.
Right. That's just one course.
Yeah. You have the pasta course and then you have the lasagna appetizer.
Right. Yeah. That's just a side. It's like a main of spaghetti and meatballs and a side of lasagna.
Right.
The other side is bread. So that was nice. It was easy. And then for New Year's Eve, we went up to a couple of friends' house. A couple. They are a couple, not just a couple of friends. We hung out at their house. We both like this winery a lot. It's Austin Hope Winery or Vineyards or whatever the fuck. Anyways, they had 3 years of their caps off. They're like, hey, come on up. We'll do a vertical. So we got sciencey on New Year's Eve and like,
with wine, vertical wine.
Vertical wine, yeah. And it was actually fun. It was 3 years of a cab. One year they had a fire up there. And that year was like super smoky, as one might expect. And the other years were not. And after it was open for like 3 hours, the smoke had completely dissipated. And so we just did a little vertical of that and, got our buzz on, played some games, all that shit.
Did you try it? And was it smoky at first?
Yeah. When you first opened it was like, whoa, licking a burnt ashtray or something like that. Wow. And especially on the nose, like the nose was super smoky. And then the more it sat, the less smoky it got. It was kind of cool.
Classic California.
Doesn't
get more California than that.
Right. So, but hey, not a wine show. But I also had a couple of days off around the holidays. I had to burn some PTO, and the wife did not. And so I signed up for
Don't say
Uber
a gym
Eats.
membership. Oh
No. I signed up to deliver for Uber Eats. I was like, let's see what this is all about.
Now.
For real. I was like, let's see what it's about. Worst case scenario, I do it for a day and I never do it again. You know, like what's the big deal? So I signed up. Honestly, it's kind of fun.
Jeez,
like they're not sponsoring the show. It's a lot like playing a game on your phone, except you have to drive. You know, it's like do this, complete this, picture here. You know, it's just like playing a game, and then you drive around, and drop shit off. So I've had some really good nights where I made like $80 in 2 hours kind of nights, and I had some really shitty nights where I made like $25 in 2 hours, like not even making a minimum wage.
I can't believe you actually did this.
Yeah, it's fun. So we'll see how long I actually stick with it now that I'm back to normal work and all that stuff. But yeah, it's fun. And a couple of nights the wife just went with me. I mean, like I'm not driving people. I don't want people in my car. Fuck you.
Yeah, you're not like a taxi,
you know?
Right.
And just dropping out food. So sometimes she'll go with me and sit in the passenger seat. We'll just talk and drive around, and she'll like. There's sometimes you get multiple orders from one place to like 3 different houses, and she'll keep the orders and tracked for me and hand me in as I get out of the car. So, yeah,
golly, that's adorable.
Yeah, so that was our crazy holiday. Good times.
Well, I tell you what, I'm not going to try that.
I know everyone I've told so far is like, you did what? I was like, I was bored. Figured I'd see if I could make a few extra bucks while I was sitting around. So
dude, that's like bored to the next level. Like,
well, you're not wrong. So yeah, it was fun.
But hey, you made money out of it, right?
Yeah. I think I so far made like $140 or something after, I don't know, 6 hours work. Who knows how long I worked for. Last night it was we tried to do it the other night, and the wife was slow, and the wife was reading tips online like how to get more deliveries and this stuff. And it was like, don't take the deliveries that are under X amount of money. That means they didn't tip. And I was like, oh, apparently when you get the delivery, the total is the base fare plus what they've tipped.
Okay.
And if it's under X amount, like if it's under like $4, it means they had to go in there and remove the tip. You don't put it in afterwards. It autofills it. And so they went in there and removed the tip and made it 0 because they're assholes. And
that's shitty.
Like, yeah. So I appreciate the drivers more now, because like a lot of times people don't tip. And it's like, man, I just drove all the way across town so you could have a fucking bean and cheese burrito, you lazy fuck.
Yeah, a $4
meal.
Throw
$2 at me.
Right. That's my go-to tip for like delivery drivers is like $2.
Yeah, I mean, it depends like how much it was and how far they had to drive. But, if it's around the corner type thing and you bring me a pizza, it's like, here's $2-3.
Right. Everything we ever order from, because we don't do like Uber Eats or Grubhub or anything like that. But any place we order from, it's within like a mile and a half.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Here's $2 extra from what you're getting paid. I think that's well,
and
right.
the Uber Eats is a little like exploitative. Like the base fare barely covers gas, so if you're not getting a tip, it's like you lose money on that trip basically.
Oh, okay.
So things to keep in mind if you're out there ordering for those. One dickbag ordered Chick-fil-A, and his house was in this super rich country club. Like I had to go through a gate and show my ID and all this stuff, and he didn't tip. I was like, you motherfucker. Probably had like a $4 million house.
How do you think he's so rich?
Yeah.
Saves
like,
all that extra money.
Right, yeah. Had a bunch of cars out in front, like nice cars. And I was like, you fucker. And then that same house popped up again a couple days later. And I was like, oh, fuck, it's the estate's house. Like, cancel. I'm not accepting that shit. You can go hungry, motherfucker. So, yeah, good
Get
times.
your own Chick-fil-A, bitch.
Right. You lazy fuck. Good times. Won first place one of these weeks at trivia with Deb and Brian.
There we go. A first place story.
Yeah, another first place.
All right.
It was all good. Yeah, it was all good. We went to brunch the other day on Sunday. Went to brunch with Coley and Big Dick Nick. And it's this new spot by their house. It's a fucking party. So around here, we have a lot of Mexican food places that like Sunday brunch. They'll have like buffet style brunch with all you can drink mimosas. They'll have a bunch of Mexican food, but they'll also have your gringo shit too. Waffles or omelets and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So they had us come to this place. It's closer to their house. We hadn't been before. Really, good food and all that stuff. But the best part was whenever it's someone's birthday, it's like a goddamn party in that place. It's not the typical like shitty restaurant song. For your birthday. Yeah.
Here's
happy
birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, but now you gotta give it back.
Yeah, exactly. No, they fucking pumps. It's different party songs every time. They'll fucking jam it over the sound system. They've got people with noisemakers, with signs. Some chick was on some other dude's shoulders. They were holding up like skull, like Dia de los Muertos skulls with fireworks coming out of it.
That's awesome.
It was a fucking and then we were buzzed from all the mimosas too.
Well, hell yeah.
It was a good time. Good fucking time.
Good for you.
That was a lot. I feel like we just...
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. Been a while.
Stained.
Anytime anybody says that, like, I'll go, been a while. And now my wife does it too. Somebody like, hey, it's been a while since we've seen you. Been a while. We're the worst. All right. We got some news to get to. We got to find out what Flex is drinking. Let's kick things off with a little bit from the news flight. Everybody grab your paddles. Clear. Real quick. The 2024, I figured there's probably some homebrew people out there. 2024 Homebrew Competition has released some important dates if you're interested in competing in that. Registration is from February 27th through March 15th. First round judging begins after that. May through June is first round shipping and drop off. July 29th through August 9th. Final round shipping August 17th through the 24th. Final round judging in San Diego. And on October 10th, the winners are announced at GABF in Denver. So,
do you get anything for winning?
I think so. It says something about grand prizes. It just doesn't say what those grand prizes are. You definitely get some medals and whatever else. Yeah. Athletic Brewing, the NA beer company.
I do know the NA beer company.
Yeah, has launched a moderation tool. It's an app that'll help you cut back on alcohol consumption.
So it's just like a notepad, but in an app?
It's like a journal.
Yeah, just open up your note app.
Yeah.
I've had one beer. I've had 2 beers.
Maybe you're supposed to like talk shitty to yourself. Like, you had 1 beer, you drunken asshole.
Oh, yeah. Make yourself feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, who fucking needs that?
You can be athletic and drink real beer,
Yeah, Mel just ran that, what was it, the Dopey Challenge at Disney World.
Yeah, psychopath.
Yeah, she's fucking, her and Lou are fucking nuts. I did text her one of the days.
Lou's fucking crazy because he didn't train at all for it.
Right. I texted her one of the days. I was like, please tell me my imagination is correct. I picture Lou running the course with turkey leg in one hand and corn dog in the other. She's like, oh, he's eating all the foods today. But yeah, that tracks.
You gotta refuel.
Yeah, he's fucking street meats over there. He's got to carb up.
Yep.
Carb up and protein.
Athletic brewing. It's like a nice, I get it. Like some people, they got problems, so.
Right.
The NA fits for that, but, you could do stuff and still drink alcohol.
Yeah, especially in January. Go support your local breweries.
Hell yeah.
Flying Fish has filed for bankruptcy. If you remember, earlier in 2023...
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, no, it was at least a week and a half ago. They had a proposed merger going on with Cape May Brewing, and Cape May pulled out of the deal.
Pull-out game strong.
Yeah, not a week over there. And now they are filing, they being Flying Fish, filing for bankruptcy, listing $9.3 million owed to secured and unsecured creditors, and they have $1.3 in assets. So
holy smokes.
Yeah, not looking good for Flying Fish.
I feel like they got their wings cut off.
Yeah. For a while. Oh, dear.
We're just 2 dudes
having fun.
God dang it.
Yeah. You know what we didn't lose over the new year? Dad jokes.
I was going to say sense of humor, so.
Oh, well, that's a given.
We're on the same wavelength.
That's a given. All right, before we find out what Flex is drinking, quick mention. We mentioned this, I don't know, a few episodes ago, but Magic Mind jumping on board the show here. Magic Mind is that little energy drink I talked, a little green bottle. They're jumping on board with us. If you don't remember, I was talking about how you drink it alongside your coffee, kind of helps the energy levels go. I use it to replace a cup. So I usually have 2 cups, sometimes 3 in the morning. And instead I'll do a cup of coffee and a little Magic Mind shot. I like it. It's easy. It's small. It definitely does not taste bad. If you're, like I said before, it's kind of like that weird Red Bull taste. Like some people like it, some people don't. I like it. So if you're into it, I'm all about it. Helps keep the energy up. Improves the coffee effectiveness. Improves the energy throughout the day. I don't feel like I need a coffee at 2 p.m. One of my favorite parts about it is that there's no sugar. I don't do sugar except for beer. Beer's the only carbs I intake, or alcohol.
That is something I'm starting to watch again now too, is that unnecessary like added sugars.
Yeah. So. And it's weird how much shit has sugar in it.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah. Like, oh, this barbecue sauce has more sugar in it than your daily intake. It's so weird. So no sugar. It's also like nut-free, vegan, all that good stuff. But I mainly care about the no sugar. If any of this sounds like something you're into, give it a shot. I talked about it before. They're all about money back if you're not into it for some reason. We have a link. It's magicmind.com/Jan beer. So Jan like January. It's a new link this month. If you heard our last plug, this one is Jan beer. And you can also use our code beer20. So with that, you get 56% off your first subscription or 20% off your one-time purchase. It also works if you're already a subscriber. You can still use our code. It's not one of those like new customer only type of things. 100% money back guarantee if you're not a fan. And on top of that, for January, they're giving our listeners a free month if you subscribe for 3. So basically 3 months for the price of 2.
Nice.
Yeah, not too shabby. So I told them, hey, up your game. Let's see what we can do for January over here. And so
lots
they came
of
back
good
with
deals
that.
there. I like that.
Yeah. So magicmind.com/Jan beer, all one word, and discount code beer20 will get you hooked up with all of that. So check it out. If you like it, let me know. Like I said, I didn't mind it at all. It was not too shabby. So go give it a shot, and they'll give you your money back if you don't like it. So nothing to lose.
Is it like a little shot too? Like you keep saying, give it a shot.
Oh yeah. It's probably like an ounce.
Great tagline.
Yeah, I think it's like an ounce. It's like a little bottle. It's green, kind of fun looking. You know, if you're a Ninja Turtle fan, it's very ooze-like.
Oh, I do like that.
Looking, not tasty. I should clarify.
Hey, you don't know how that ooze tasted. Maybe it was delicious.
That's true. I mean, the turtles went into it after all, so
right. It's got to smell somewhat decent.
Yeah, otherwise they'd walk away. I mean, turtles aren't stupid.
No, they're pretty smart.
Yeah, pretty smart turtles. So there you go. Be like the Ninja Turtles and check out Magic Mind. Also not endorsed by the Ninja Turtles. That sounds like a lawsuit.
That would be cool, though.
It would be even cooler. All right, let's find out what Flex is drinking over there.
In a world where craft beer is king, a world where muscles are bigger than growlers, only one tongue can guide us. One man, one tongue, one tongue jobber. In this world, we must find out what is Flex drinking.
It's been well. So today I'm having a beer from our Midwest neighbors to the west, Minnesota. I didn't know this brewery even distributed. I've heard of them before as like an underrated up-and-coming brewery from Minnesota, and it is Ursa Minor Brewing. And they're in Duluth, Minnesota. And if you know anything about that, it's basically Canada.
Is that where like the Duluth Trading Company, all their clothes and stuff?
I don't know. That's a good question. I would assume so, being an ignorant person.
Yeah.
We can Google
Duluth,
it
Georgia.
later.
Yeah.
But yeah, Duluth is pretty far north up there in Minnesota. The first thing that actually caught my eye is the can art.
Oh, very classic.
I like the logo with the bear and the hops and, the whirly swirly floral, like almost paisley print on the around the border. And it's a gorgeous can. A great logo. of course, I'm a haze nerd, so hazy IPA for me, 6.8%. The first thing we always look at too, Greg, it's a hazy, right? So,
and it's hazy.
Y'all can't see that, but it is. Untapped has this at a 4.04 out of over 2,300 ratings.
Yeah,
so
very respectable.
Pretty respectable. And they read, brewed with copious amounts of highly sought-after Galaxy hops, the unique hop flavors will be a galactic face slap. Forgot to mention, that's what the beer's called.
Oh.
To your senses. Take a sip and transport yourself to a crystal clear night in northern Minnesota with stars blazing above. So, on the old schnoz, very faint aroma. It's grassy with really subtle hints of unripe pineapple, which is actually my favorite kind of pineapple, fun fact, because it's not as sweet and it's a lot more sour, and it's the best. So then we warm up the old tongue jobber now.
Oh, here we go.
So wet.
Slobbery.
I mean, it follows suit as on the schnoz. It's grassy, it's green, it's really slight notes of that underripe pineapple. Really tiny amount of bitterness. I'd say like a 2% bitterness hitting that palate there. Super crusher, 6.8%. This is, I'd drink it all day. This is phenomenal. Since I've never seen them in the store before, I'm going to reach out to them and see what else they have in distribution. So then I can reach out to my shop and say, hey, if you can snag this for me,
right,
bring it in. Because I really do want to try more of these guys.
Smart. That's
and again, this was Galactic Face Slap. Again, and that name, it's a
great name.
It's a great name. Great name.
What the 5 fingers say at the face.
Boom. Galactic Face Slap. And the cherry on top of this beer, Greg, $12.99 for the 4-pack.
Oh my God. Fits beautifully in the algorithm.
Yeah. Like basically cream my pants, so.
Sexy.
Yeah.
Slobbery wet pants.
No dry January down there.
That'll be the name of the episode.
Cut that out.
Yeah. I'm going to make it louder. And for those of you at home wondering, Duluth Trading Company is based in Mount Horeb, Wisconsin. So there you go. Wherever the fuck.
Yeah, maybe they're from Duluth.
Maybe.
That's like the Madison area, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. I lied.
I'll take your word for it. Wherever Mount Horeb is.
I don't know where anything in my own state is, unless it's like Green Bay, Milwaukee, La Crosse. Yeah. You don't even know what lacrosse is.
It's a sport.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Yeah. But you know what? Not a sports show.
Not a Wisconsin show.
Not yet. Half the time.
Actually, it's pronounced Milwaukee.
Now it's a Wisconsin show.
There it is.
All right, let's do a little news before we sober up and get out of here. Asahi is going to acquire Wisconsin-based Octopi Brewing.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Big news.
Crazy.
Yeah, Japanese brewing giant Asahi announced it has struck a deal to acquire Octopi Brewing, a Wanakee, right?
Wanakee, yep.
Wanakee, Wisconsin-based contract brewer.
That's like the whole Untitled Arts, whatchamacallit.
Yeah, they do a ton of contract, and they also do Untitled Arts. Asahi managing director for EMEA and Americas, blah, 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 said, by making this investment, we are taking a major step forward in accelerating the growth journey of our global brands, expanding awareness, reach, and access across North America through existing and new on and off trade partners. Founder Isaac Shawaki opened Octopi in 2015 with 6 employees. Octopi's output grew exponentially during the pandemic, with a 443% increase in volume in 2020. In the following years, Octopi sustained that growth with a 51% increase in 21 and a 38% increase in 22. They produced 220,000 barrels of beer for its contract partners and under its own brand entitled Art in 22. The most recent year that they have data for, but the beer is only one piece of their business. Last year, the company was on track to produce 7 million case equivalents of beverages, roughly 508,000 barrels, he said in an interview. He'll continue to lead the Octopi team, which will keep working with contract partners for beer and other beverages. Basically, it's how Asahi is going to brew stateside and have, they'll save on shipping and all that shit.
Right.
Kind of like what Sapporo is doing with Stone.
Right.
Cool. I hope they don't, fuck up their other stuff. Yeah. Sounds like they're going to keep contract brewing for everyone else and then do a little Asahi on the side. I had no idea they were putting out that amount of liquid. 508,000 barrels.
Yeah, I mean, they fucking bang it out, man.
Yeah, that's huge. So, and what a good business model to have as the pandemic hits. It's like, oh, you're closing down your brewery? Well, send us your recipes. We'll make them for you.
Right.
Genius. A little recap from the Brewers Association for 2023. It's craft's first volume decline outside of COVID, and brewery closures tick up. Outside of unique 2020, this is the first time that independent brewers have seen such a decline. The primary culprits are slowing demand growth, competition from across beverage alcohol, and a changing retail environment. In 2023, about 420 breweries opened and roughly 385 closed.
Come on.
The delta of 35 between those figures is the smallest in recent years. Just in 2022, 9,500 breweries operated in the U.S., and 550 breweries opened and 200 closed. In 2021, an estimated 710 breweries opened while 176 closed, according to the report. So basically, we're getting a lot closer to that open-close number there. It sort of feels like the reckoning, the craft beer reckoning a little bit.
Maybe, it's maybe one of those things where like too many is not a good thing now.
Yeah, and now quality is going to matter.
Right, and like the good ones are going to stand tall, and you're really going to be able to recognize the ones who, don't have it, or maybe the guys who got too big for their britches and they start, overproducing, and you're like, hey, wow, why am I still paying this kind of money for this when I can just go down the street?
Right.
And
it's true.
And get that.
Well, and I think a lot of breweries for a while, especially in smaller towns, were operating under the notion of what else are you going to do?
Right.
It's like there's not a lot around, so come on down and drink some shit beer. And now so many breweries are distributing, and there's also so many breweries popping up even in small towns. It's just, you got to be good now.
Right. You can't just be there to be there.
Exactly. So
not a get rich quick scheme.
No, ask any brewer. That is for certain. Here we go. Should we take a trip down to Florida? Our first Florida trip of the new year?
You know what? I haven't been there in a while.
Here we go. No dick hotels in this one.
Shucks.
Florida man threatens officers after they tell his wife about drunken pool incident. Yeah. A Florida man's day at a community pool in the Villages took a drastic turn when he was arrested after drunkenly threatening to break a police officer's throat.
Oh.
Yeah. You ever been punched in the jejunum?
Going straight roadhouse on the guy.
Yeah. His threats, however, escalated when the officer decided to inform the man's wife about the incident. Pieces of shit, Lyle Parrott told officers, according to an arrest affidavit. Parrott, 64, was arrested and charged with simple assault on a law enforcement officer after the situation that unfolded in the Village of DeLuna community swimming pool. Officers responded to the pool after people complained of a drunk person smoking in the pool area. That man, identified as Parrott, also, what a horrible name. I feel like I'm talking about a bird, became belligerent toward the responding officers and yelled profanities at them while slurring his speech.
I'm just wondering if the officers were wearing shorts.
Guaranteed.
Right. You get called to a pool, like,
you got it.
You got to put shorts on.
Like, where's Deputy Dangle when you need him?
Right.
During Parrott's drunk rage, an officer tried to get Parrott's name and date of birth. The officer also noticed Parrott's village ID card was on the table when he tried to grab it. For fucking with me, I'm going to break your throat, he reportedly told officers. You're going to break my throat? The officer asked. Yup. The man also said he'd kill the officer and repeatedly asked the other to shoot him in the face. During this back and forth, an officer stepped away to make a phone call to Parrott's wife, asking her to come to the pool, pick him up, and take him home.
Shoot me in the face.
Really took a turn. That's when Parrott became belligerent again and yelled more profanities at the officers. The officer reached across the table to grab Parrott's ID card, but he stood up and stepped toward him. Give me the goddamn ID back, he screamed. At this point, Parrott got closer to the officer, made a fist with his right hand, and swung it at the officer in an attempt to hit him in the face. The officer standing nearby was able to catch Parrott's arm in the air, before punching the officer. Parrott was placed in handcuffs and escorted out to the officer's patrol car. While in the car, he continued threatening the officers, saying he was going to kill them, and also calling them pieces of shit for calling his wife about the incident. A few days later on Monday, the officers were tipped that Parrott's wife was asking around about them in the community. The manager of the village told officers that Parrott's wife was asking around to find out who got her husband arrested. When officers made contact with her, she said that she only made those comments to try and talk to the people who were spreading rumors about her husband. She said she didn't have any intention of causing any physical harm. She added that she was upset about comments being made about her husband and his arrest. She stated people were spreading rumors about the community and making it hard for her to live in the community peacefully.
They're spreading the rumors.
She's turned into a prospector. Officers told her not to make any more comments and to stay away from the residents who might be spreading rumors. Lord knows that she is the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Oh, nothing dry about Florida, I tell you.
Very slobbery.
Did they get like an BAC on this guy?
I'm sure through the roof.
I mean, unreal.
They did not report one, unfortunately.
It's a community pool guy.
Yeah, smoking in the community pool. What's more Florida than that? He's probably listening to Kid Rock at the same time.
And if he wasn't intoxicated, boy, I tell you,
yeah,
keeps giving Florida people a bad name.
Yeah. Oh man, what a upstanding citizen. All right, we'll end it with this. Top 5, end of the year, beginning of the year, we got some lists. Top 5 states for beer production and tap room consumption. What states produce the most amount of beer, you might ask?
I'm thinking Colorado and California are in there.
Well, you're not wrong. Top 5. I was actually surprised by this. Number 5, California. I thought they'd be higher.
Okay.
Number 4, Virginia.
That doesn't make sense.
It gets weirder. Number 3, Ohio. Number 2, Texas.
Well, they're huge.
And number 1, Colorado.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Where do Americans drink the most beer inside breweries? So where do they actually do their brewery drinking? Number 5, New York. Number 4, Florida. Number 3, Colorado. Number 2, Tejas. Number 1, California.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
And which states have the most breweries per 100,000 people?
That's got to be like California and Colorado, right?
That's exactly what I thought. Not even close. Number 5,
Come on.
New Hampshire. Number 4, you ready for this one? Alaska.
Weird.
Let us go to the brewery.
Per 100,000.
Right. I guess you had 3 breweries. That's all you need.
3 breweries and under 100,000 people. It's.
I was giving my 16 ounces of beer today.
This is how you brew beer.
Number 3, Maine. Number 2, Montana. And number 1,
Montana. Ah, yeah.
Vermont.
Montana's pretty wide open, right?
Yeah.
Not a huge population.
Yeah, Montana and Alaska really hanging in there together.
Yeah.
So, makes sense.
Lots of tundra up in Alaska.
Well, some might say tons of tundra.
Oh, there it is. I missed out on a gold mine right there.
You really did. And that's why we're absolutely hitting the music now. It got that bad. Hi, Vanessa.
Hi, Vanessa.
Or should I say Happy New Year, Vanessa?
Both. Happy New Year. Hello.
Yeah, something like that. Find us, craftbeerrepublic.com, on the socials, Craft Beer Republic. Of course, Flex Me a Beer, _ in between. And I must say, some thirst traps lately. I like that you're getting back to the sexy workout stories.
Am I?
You posted a couple throughout the holidays.
Yeah, maybe.
We talked about it with Mel, I think, on the last episode that we were missing those, and then they started popping up, and that's not all that started popping up, let me tell you.
I'll start getting back into it.
Yeah, everybody's wanting it. Either that or start your OnlyFans. What else? Oh, mail at craftbeerrepublic.com, 805-538-BEER, 2337. I think I've covered it all. Hope everyone is staying very well hydrated.
And on that note,
good night, everybody.